Green is the name of the game. We've had some precipitation and everything is green and beautiful where Jill's hanging out today.
It is, yes. That is the silver lining, Tara, because we have been enjoying the rain and how green it's making our yards, right? I mean, this yard is absolutely luscious. It's totally gorgeous. And we're talking about great landscaping tips. Are you much of a landscaper? Do you have a green thumb, Tara?
I'm not going to lie. Zero.
That's why there are guys like Steve to help us along the way. So Steve's here with ULS, and we're getting some tips from the pros here on how to make your yard just as beautiful as this one. So we're going to dig into design now. Why is it important that you have a landscaping design?
Well, I think a good yard always starts with a proper design. And I kind of use the analogy of this. Like if you had a bunch of old women sitting around a table having a quilting bee and you put a bottle of scotch in the middle and you let them drink the whole bottle, that's what happens when you don't have a plan. Because it just gets us. You get this quilt that's just hodgepodge. It's got your sister's jeans and your mom's old apron. It looks horrible. The dad wants this, the mom wants this, the kids want this, and it turns into just a mess.
That is a really creative analogy, my friend.
So, that's why it's important to sit down and map out a proper design.
Okay, mapping out a proper design. What are some of the elements that we need to consider in terms of design?
Okay, the first thing you want to look at is what you're going to use the yard for. So if you have kids, it's going to be a different yard. You might want to have some play centers or some areas for the kids. You might want to do lots of entertaining if you're a couple that doesn't have kids, so you might want to have more big patio areas and that kind of thing. So you need to look at the uses they're going to have. The next thing is lot limitations. This lot here had a huge slope to it, so it needed to be cut away and put retaining walls in to facilitate patio areas. So some lots have limitations that you can't get around. They might have too big of slopes and different things. So you have to look at that. The third thing you really want to look at is what is the style of your yard. So if you go to a garden center, pick up magazines, or at the checkout, pick up some gardening magazines, you can look at things like, do you want more of an Asian style, kind of that Zen look, or do you want more classical, contemporary, or something that looks more European? Okay. And of course, the last thing is budget, and everybody hates that word, but you don't go and try to build a $100,000 yard if you only want to spend $10,000. And a lot of people do get over their head and they start to overspend, and then they have to stop the process. So you really have to think about that.
Okay, so planning the numbers. Secret weapon behind your back there. What have you got going on?
Well, this is a can of marker paint. It's different than straight spray paint. So spray paint works where you spray it and it comes out this way. Marking paint cans work upside down. So what I like to tell people is before even talk to a designer, why not take this, go out in the yard, flip it upside down. You and your wife's, you get a drink going, you walk around and you just actually design your whole yard on the ground. And it's an easy way to do it. And it's quite quick. And at the end, you could, draw in your patios, your bed lines, where you might want a pond. And it gives you a good way just to kind of come up with dimensions in the yard and what you want to do with it. So it's a nice way to do it. If you make a mistake, you just take your foot and go across the dirt and it's gone and you start over again. It's like being a kid again and you just draw your own yard. So it's just a good way to lay out the yard before you start doing the final design.
Okay, that sounds easy enough. Even if your thumb isn't green, just take a can of spray paint of marker paint and get creative, Tara.
That could be a disaster for people like me.